Welcome, you fellow weeps or people that watch my date YouTube channel and waiting for new content. Yeah, content! Alright, we're going to talk about the new expansion decks. Edge over something. Is it edge over or edge off? Edge of something, whatever, okay, I don't know. So we have 17 decks to like theorycraft and talk about, and you guys may use it. If it's bad, it's bad. You guys been here before. If it's good, it's good. So let's go. So first of all, we have Forest. There's only one deck for Forest. After twinking around with Hozumi, I realized that she doesn't really suit with the Evo deck because you need to make bodies and stuff. So what requires you to have 4 blade and makes a lot of bodies, like multiple bodies, you know? What is it that sounds so familiar that also Hozumi will benefit when you make so much followers and leave followers? Of course, it's your girl Sekka. So we basically implemented Hozumi into the Arya Sekka build. So the build is a bit similar to the previous version I've seen, except I just slapped in Hozumi and we have basically introduced regeneration as your secondary bounce with the more broken bounce pest control. But like you can't really like do much about it because we literally lost like the best 2 bounce. So you know what? Better than nothing, right? So what the idea with Hozumi is this, is that Hozumi wants to pull a card such as Amatas and Sekka. So the problem with Forest in the past is that you had to top deck your Sekka and Amatas. Not anymore, buddy. Now you can high roll into Sekka and Amatas. So the problem here is that if there's a way to like remove Blast Fairy from the deck and like not play Predator and Healer Fairy so that we can consistently get Sekka and Amatas, I will do it. But no, Forest has been taken apart left and right. You need to high roll. So I think Hozumi is like a good card in the Arya build. At least you could like pull Sekka and Amatas out of your ass. You can even pull out Arya if you want to, if you don't have Arya, assuming you're not dead yet. Alright, next we have Swordcraft. So we have the cryptocurrency Swordcraft deck, or I would call it Bitcoin. So Mr. Bitcoin himself, Geomon, is basically your boss card where he gives the leader effect. If it's the 3rd Bitcoin you've added to your hand, you basically gain AoE effect. Each time you use your Bitcoin, you are able to do AoE damage 2 and heal 1. So what we incorporate is sort of like a control Evo based deck with a ton of healing and also a ton of control, as you can see here. We basically just inherited a lot of this card. We are running Recruit from the Return from the Brink because of the reason that there are so little miners, Bitcoin miners, you know, just like the word, there's so little crypto miners that we have to like run Return from the Brink to like retrieve them back at the end of the turn so they can play them again. So the idea here, the ideal curve would be playing Front Death Frog on 2 and then into Masterful Musicians. So in a scenario that you didn't get either the Musician on 3, you have the Brink to like get back the Frog next turn so they can play the Frog as well. There's also a tempo, there's also a consideration where once you play out those 2 cards, if the tempo and push in is right, you can play Return from the Brink to get back those 2 to play for their 3 Bitcoin value. Generally the deck looks to stall and heal and to go for the Gildan display. You can consider putting Kagemitsu in the deck. I just don't want to play Kagemitsu because I don't feel like playing Kagemitsu. I'm just trying to like survive and be an asshole to like heal and grind out my opponent. Alright, up next we have the beautiful deck that has I don't know how to say this, but I don't know why the hell that Rage has like 6 out of 8 people playing this. This is the Rally Sword. Basically the same deck you've seen last expansion, but with the addition of Takesumi and also Bunking Recruit. Bunking Recruit is a very, very strong staple. 1 mana, last word, draw 1. Simple as that. If you're playing this deck before, you understand why this deck is here. Takemitsu is very good. Anti cards such as Raider and also like the Evolve Retrieve is just amazing because you want to retrieve the Evolve for Erica so they can evolve Erica for finisher. The deck is the same. For those that are wondering why we're running 1 Force Weapon and 1 Albert, if you didn't follow the meta trend, this is mostly the one-offs that are popular these days. People already start to cut Golden Warrior in favor of Force Weaponry and Albert, but this mostly as a one-off. Up next we have Runecraft. We have the first one, which is Evo Rune. So we have incorporated Evo Rune with the festive cards, Yakishima. So the idea here is that with Yakishima and the boys, you basically want to like evolve Yakishima and then go for its evolve turns and then keep drawing cards while you're evolving followers to like swarm your enemy with stats and traits and stuff like that. You might want to consider 1 more extra Yakishima because I just realized that Sataneal doesn't actually tilted the same cards. I never read that and I'm too lazy to change my visual. The idea basically is to run only 1 or 2 Yukishima so that you won't draw multiple of them. You don't need multiple of them, you just need to evolve one of them. It's like the same idea with 1 Winston back then. And yeah, it's just a lot of stats. The deck plays similarly to the previous expansion, Vincent. Up next we have the Dirt Rune version, which is everyone's hyping about. If you have seen all the bronze and silver for Rune, they're just crazy cards that that I would never expect them to print. You know, Rune has been dead for a long time, and I thought they would keep supporting this weird archetype called Whims. Yeah, I forgot Whims exists. Anyway, the Rune has been given so much power that we can cut cards such as the Frost Golem and also the guy that has the drill things like Gurren Lagann. So we can cut those things already because you never play more tempo based and more damage based. So every turn you want to like play more damage and more board, like Acid Golem to deal 6 for full value, Earthen Fist to like deal 3 for the extra Earthright 2, and then you want to rush into the Earthright 3 for Superior Contractor. Everything just seems very clean with the new addition of Arctic Chimera to draw 1 extra, and also it creates like a very strong body on turn 6 with a lot of people kind of like kind of treats it like an underwhelming thing, but it has Storm, so it's a good thing. Other than that, the deck is very solid. You even have a Fudo, which is basically yours Fudo. Like no one else has this Fudo, like a very strong Fudo that deals 2. Like the deck seems very solid. We have this monstrosity of a Spellboost deck. So after like tweaking around, I kind of find that Q1 is the way to go instead of like Chrono Wish. Chrono Wish takes up so many slots that you need to run. For example, Guild Assembly, you even need to run like a 2-drop, like the Squirrel, so that you have like different names and stuff like that. So in order to like ensure I have maximum copies of like Chimera, Hurricane Golem, and Frost Golem, I want to not run Chrono Wish because these cards, besides being a very powerful dirt spells, they are also very good material for Isabella to eat because you know, she loves to eat dirt. So with the addition of Chakram Wizard, also it allows you to boost Q1 even further and control the board at the same time. So you do have no issue like creating a board before Q1 turns, and when Q1 comes down, boom, you will be able to deal a lot of damage as well. And Isabella should be very easy to reach 8 this time with like additional of Arctic and Chimera. And you know, Story of a Long Time Turn is just a very balanced 2 mana, draw a lot of cards. Generally speaking, Spellboost has a lot of Hopium, but at the same time, it looks like a deck, right? But it doesn't look like a deck. It looks like a bunch of cards mixed together and just you Praga. This looks very, very Praga. I'm gonna cry making this deck. Alright, up next, Dragon Crowd. So, behold and behold, Dragon got a new RAM. You guys know the deal. New RAM means auto 3, right? Well, for this case, I'm not so sure. I have included 3 in this list, but there is somewhere inside me say that we don't really need it. The only reason why I included Shinlong is to replace Tiamat, but Tiamat is not a replacement. Sorry, but Shinlong is not a replacement for Tiamat necessarily. Tiamat accelerate 1 or crystallize 1 is the more important reason besides the heal. Shinlong is just there because like, you know what, RAM good, right? I don't know how to feel about it because like the problem is that you don't really need to giga RAM with this deck, right? This deck just wants to go face, play a lot of tempo. Sometimes you don't even like consider ramping if you're going so hard on the tempo like Boss Dragon. So there is that consideration to not play Shinlong if you feel like it's not necessary. You can play like the other cards. You can play like more Dragon Hunt, you can play more Ding Dong. You can even go back to playing more of those pesky Storm cards. Roy works, stuff like that. I don't even know if there's any Storm cards in the format left. So in general, the deck, I think, doesn't really matter. If you want to run Shinlong, fine by me. If you don't want to run it, it's also alright. Up next, we have the beautiful Satan Dragon, or known as Cocytus Dragon. Is it called Cocytus? We just call it Satan. So Satan Dragon is a deck that basically you force yourself to ram hard so that you can play out Satan early. Traditionally, that's how it works. However, Sataneal is a new card where when you play it, right, it turns all your cards in your hand into a random Cocytus card. So the difference here is that it's earlier because it's the 6th play point, but it only turns a card in your hand. So what you want is to have a huge hand size. And a deck that has that much folder, for Dragon specifically, it's the Natural Package. The Natural Package has a lot of ways to like draw and maintain hand size and create a lot of folders, such as the tree from Touching Thoughts, to be turned into Satanic cards that can be used for even more powerful effect. I play one Prosperous Treasure because like this deck basically runs all the RAM in the world. You have your Dragon Oracle, you have your Gina, you have your Shinlong, you have your Roy, you have your Ignis, all at max. 15 rams in one deck. You tell me you can't ram, this is your fault. Alright? This is your fault. If you cannot ram with this list, something is wrong with you. You might have done something in your past life or your current life to ensure that you'll never get a single ram in the entire game. I have nothing to say to you. But anyway, I think the deck is not bad potentially when I build it. Prosperous Treasure Dragon does seem to work because like most of the Satan cards are very high cost. So when you play that out, you'll be able to recover play points and to play more cards. Essentially, Prosperous is just a 12 play point uncapped card. If you like the card, you can play more and then cut one ram. I think you can actually consider cutting a Roy. Hello, Crisome here. Sorry for disturbing you in the middle of the video. As I'm editing this, the editor got lazy. So you're gonna enjoy the rest of the video imagining the cards that I pronounce pop out. So this is to train your listening skill. So yeah, excuses aside, I'm very sorry for like being lazy and just don't have the time to edit the picture in. But enjoy the rest of the video. Next, we have more dragon deck. I make so much dragon. Oh, this is the buff dragon, but not the buff you're thinking of. No, get it out. Not that buff. We have the chat buff. So the chat buff here only runs 2 ram, Oracle and Ignis. I'm not going to consider any more ram because this deck is more bot based like the buff dragon build. So you don't really need like so many of the rams considering the other dragon build. This deck looks very solid in my opinion because like, all the buff cards are very good. Breeder is just a very strong 1 mana cycle and a buff card that can make your board even thicker. Sacred Spring Dragon is very strong considering the fact that you can go wide with this deck. And like Rowan's still Rowan. You have the typical Rowan Router package right here. I was about to think that I didn't run Router, but I run Router. And like the deck works, it works. You only need 1 ram. 1 ram means you can play Spring Dragon on turn 5, which is good enough. Like just 1 ram. Because like if you have like double ram, I guess, like turn 2 ram, turn 3 ram, turn 4 Spring Dragons, that's kind of nuts, but I don't think you really need it. Garmix is there because Garmix is there, so that's about it. And then up next we have the beautiful Shadowcraft, the deck that have terrorized competitions everywhere left and right. Is this deck nerfed? According to side games, no. How about the things we lose? We do lose major component that people will not realize. Celeste and Shao. Shao is not that important, alright? We have Anisage now to replace it. More important is Celeste. Celeste is such an important turn 2 play that creates a lot of tempo on turn 4 going first. It also locks some matchups from using spells to like kill you. It also acts as the last words color count. So the problem now is that we lack all those things. And Tyrant is not a good substitute because the problem with Tyrant is that if your RNG is horrendous, you can actually revive the Lich instead of Susie, and then you cry and you tell your mom Shadowverse sucks. My person lied to me, my streamer lied to me that this deck is good. So before anyone say that this list sucks, I am not sure. I am just looking at it, fit in what I can fit in, and that's it. So the deck is the same. Honestly speaking, if you play the deck, you will know the deck. The only difference is that with Anisage now you have a additional 6 necro choice, and I don't know how to feel about Anisage. Anisage is a good necro choice, but I can only tell it when I play it. It's like Luna. Like I couldn't tell it that Luna is such a broken card unless I play it myself. So that's with Anisage. Up next we have Bloodcraft. Bloodcraft is essentially busted. All the cards in bronze are just crazy. Even the gold that revealed last minute was really crazy. Like Deception Shapeshifter is literally just almost the same power level as the freaking Vampire girl that literally gives you auto vengeance when you draw her. It's almost the same power. It's almost the same power, but it's slightly different. So we have Disco Dragon. Sorry, Disco Blood. There we go. Disco Blood, which is not really Disco Blood, it's more like a 0-hand blood. The aim of this deck is to combo play your hand to 0, so you can always invoke Presilius. How you do this is like Flogros, you keep your hand, keep it, play out everything to have 0 hand, invoke the new sexy babe, and then draw cards, create tempo, blah blah blah. You get the drill. The card is always to like empty your hand and then draw cards later. There are also very strong cards when your hand is empty, like Bad Archer is just a very crazy storm card. Demonic Assault is really good if you were able to discard Shapeshifter. Like, it's just crazy. And that Corrupted Conveyance. Chat, if you have like turn 1 Bright Vampire in discarding Deception, turn 2 you just play Corrupt, and then your opponent literally has his mind corrupted. Like turn 2, you have a 2/2 and 2/1/1s. Like it's just very strong tempo. I think the deck has a lot of potential to be the new tier 1. It's really fast. But I think it is a day 1 thing, and once people figure out a bit of day 2, this deck will definitely die to more heal-based deck. Alright, up next we also have Evo Blood, which continues its copium streak after losing Grimnir. You do have the new boy, Itsurugi, which is not bad. 1 mana 2/4 is very solid. And then you also have the new discard tools, which I really like. As long as you discard Deception, you actually have access to a lot of powerful Vengeance cards. Actually not a lot, I say a lot, but actually you only want to care about 1 card. The new boy, Scorpion of the Death, 1 mana Evo baby. Woo! Why are you reducing? I have no idea. Your name is not Shadowcraft, you don't have Raider, the deck's a bit copium, but if you want to try it out, please do so. Go ahead and tell me and break my mind. And next, we have Havencraft. Havencraft, honestly speaking, I only can come up with 1 deck. I was trying so hard to make the others, but it's really just copy-pasta of the old stuff. Haven lost their freaking Smile Cure. Wallhaven is just Wallhaven, you know, you guys can talk a deck copium if all you want. I think some of these decks are really good at Haven and Ward. However, they're not that interesting to read the build, so here you go, Banish Haven. But instead of banishing your opponent, you also banish yourself. What's more disgusting? You controlling other people's life or you controlling your own life? Wait, that doesn't make fuck it. So anyway, Fox of Fortune is a very good cycle card and also very good combo play with the whole All Feeling Divine. So what you want to do is the Chamber Cleansing and Fortune Fox play together. Wait, does it work that way? Fox of Fortune comes. I don't know. Alright, I am just very high. I have no idea what I'm talking about. But all I know is that you can basically do a lot of damage with the Cleansing and All Feeling Divine. Oh, what you want to do is just have all these foxes on the board, play Divine, banish a fuck ton, deal a lot of damage, banish the board, make sure your opponent's life is miserable. If your opponent's name is Shadowcraft, make them feel pain. We also play the Balrog package to deal more damage, and with the new mini Ra neck back, you can do like a lot of damage over turn. Like you can basically essentially stall until Guinness and end your opponent's life. You don't even need to reach Guinness. You can just essentially end your life. There's a lot of control tools in this deck. Boomerang Sister is a very good control tool. Marvin is a very good control tool. You again have Balrog to wipe. This deck has so much control. Spiritual Blow is just a crazy control tool. So you shouldn't have any problem in controlling. And in fact, if you want to argue, why don't we play Saber? You can. You want to play Saber? Go ahead. But I don't like Saber because she gave me misery. And honestly speaking, I don't think you need Saber. But if you want to run Saber, go ahead. But just to remind you, you have Ring Gatekeeper in combination with All Feeling Divine, which is a crazy damage scale compared to Saber. So I would rather run Ring Gatekeeper. Next, we have the beautiful Lishana herself with Gundams. Name me 2 things that should never work together but absolutely will make you the happiest person in life. Gundams and waifus. Dude, combining Gundams and waifu together is the ultimate goal for everybody. I can finally play my beautiful Lishana next to a freaking Gundam. A Gundam! So because all the pilots for the Gundams are also puppeteers. So, you know, it makes sense. It's like Macross. All the pilots are just idle fans. It's the same thing. This is essentially Macross attack. So, basically speaking, this deck, what you want to do is that you play like a normal Lishana deck puppet, you farm your Lishana stuff, you make sure Lishana amulets are reduced, you play them out. However, there's also a side quest where you can play Magna Transformation to Magna Saber, and Magna Saber to get you that beautiful 6/6 where you can pilot it with very cheap festive followers like Tinkerer Shopkeeper as a weep and also a festive. They can pilot a Gundam. Same goes to Kairoki Servant, which is also a weep and also pilot a Gundam. We just run 1 Torching Guide because why not? It also can pilot the Gundam. So in general, we have a lot of ways to pilot the Gundam, and like Trigger Happy Puppeteer is something that all puppet mains or puppet or just porter mains been praying to get. A simple draw to destroy puppet. That's all. They're printed. It is a 3-play point, but it has an evolved effect that gives the 3 puppets. So you know what? I will take it. I will take it. Like I think you can even argue the whole Lishana for 10 destruction with this current build. I think this is a lot of potential. You can even run Jetpack. You can even run Jetpack Gundam in this build. I'm looking forward to play my waifus and Gundam together Because why the fuck not? Alright, up next we have the Copium. The unstoppable, the undisputed worst. No, actually no. This is the time where if you want to press F, you want to press F. Artifact has been thrown to the gutter. Like, without factory, I expected some sort of like redemption support, but all we get is this Full Blast Gunner, which is not bad, but doesn't really draw cards. That's the problem with Full Blast Gunner. It draws one, but like, it doesn't draw infinity. The problem with Artifact now is that you became mediocrity. You no longer trade like a crazy person. You are now tempo the deck. You play a bunch of tokens and like you basically yeah, pray. You make a bot and pray. So there are a lot of nuke damages potential. With Full Blast Gunner, right, what you can do is that each time you play Artifact, you can deal 3 damage to a random enemy follower. You can clear the board and then play Impulse. The only problem here is that by playing those artifacts, you cannot place Impulse optimally, because you're gonna use play point to play the artifacts, and then you must have enough play point to play Impulse, even the cannon from Artifact Genesis. Like, there's so much problem with this new concept that I wish we do get back some PP recovery, because that's how Artifact has always been playing. But if they want to make this the new way to play Artifact, which is rush to 6 different names and like make a board, I'm fine, but at least make it playable, because this looks very Copium, and like the only way I can win this is probably through Lishana. So this is like literally F. Alright, that's it for the decks. 17 decks. I didn't know how fast I rushed it. If you like it, like and subscribe. Look forward to more content in the future, because I'll be trying to make more YouTube videos instead of the streaming. If you can't wait, just watch me on Twitch and usual. If you like it, all these things, you know what to do. If you don't, go and suck the egg. Bye.